If you've watched the Alabama defense this past season, you would have noticed that something was off. And you may be wondering, what could be off about a top 10 defense in the nation? And what that is that the linebacker play was very inconsistent last year, especially with the Mike and Will linebackers. The outside linebackers did fairly well, the Sam and the Jack, but the inside linebackers had a lot of issues. So in this video, I'm trying to give you some clarity on what I think is wrong with the Alabama inside linebackers. And honestly, it's fairly simple. Nick Saban actually even highlighted it at a recent practice here during spring. But last year, Mack Wilson was the Mike linebacker, Dylan Moses was the Will linebacker, right? And it just seems that they were never on the same page, and that they weren't able to get calls into people on time, and that they weren't able to get people set up in the right way, and there was a lot of issues that were happening. So it looks like there was a lot of communication errors. At least I thought it was communication errors, or at least it could have been last year. Nick Saban has an even more specific point that he says. Nick Saban mentioned that a lot of mental errors from the linebackers, so it may not even necessarily be communication, but it could be that they just were making mistakes, probably overthinking things, not trusting what they learned. So the inside linebackers, for sure in particular, had a lot of mental errors. He said in the practice, in the first scrimmage, a lot of unprotected gaps. There were people not covered, and honestly, this is not a good sign. The same thing happened last year, like I mentioned. So what is happening is the question. Is it coaching or the players? Is it a combination of both? Probably so. It is hard to say because there was a new inside linebackers coach, so there could be some new things to learn. Maybe the players just weren't on the right page with the coach. It could be a lot to say, especially when you're not there, but we definitely know what the symptoms of whatever the overall issue is. Now, Dylan Moses at Mike linebacker might make a big difference this year, since he played it for a long time in his life, or at least he says he's played it for the longest time. And so him at this position could make a difference, but based on his first spring scrimmage, it may not have made too much of a difference. Now, the linebackers too at Alabama, I'm not sure if this crop of linebackers that they have lives up to the same level of talent or ability that former linebackers have. So, for example, Shane Lee, who's a freshman, he's 6 foot, 248 pounds. I'm not sure what to expect out of him. Dylan Moses is very talented, but he hasn't shown that he can overcome those mental errors yet. Joshua McMillan is a senior who's been around forever. He's 6'3", 237. He obviously has experience, but it hasn't led to him taking a hold of a starting position, and he may just be a default starter this year. Markel Benton, who is a talented junior, 6'2", 235 pounds. I don't know how much of a natural inside linebacker that he is. Jalen Moody, who's a sophomore, played it a little bit last year, special teams, 6'2", 226. I don't know how talented he actually is. I mean, they liked him in the spring practice. I remember hearing that last year, so it could just be experience for these guys. And of course, the highly touted Ale Cajo, who started out at Washington, I believe, and then transferred to Alabama before the season and kind of made a lot of special teams tackles. It seems like we just got an interesting mix of inside linebackers who haven't really broken out yet and are ready to make a difference. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen so far, I'm not sure that this inside linebacker mental error problem will be fixed. But I'm always open to being pleasantly surprised. What do you think about this situation? Do you have a more positive view of the linebackers this year? Do you think there can be a really big difference with Dylan Moses at middle linebacker? Who do you think will be the starting Will linebacker next to him? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if there's another position group of another team or even of Alabama that you want me to go over next. I'll see you on the next video.